Today's news. IMCOR, INCOR, IMCOR, it's the 8th India-Myanmar Coordinated Patrol. INCOR, India-Myanmar Coordinated Patrolling. Indian Navy and Myanmar's Navy against terrorism, human trafficking, poaching, illegal fishing, drug trafficking, etc. IMCOR. It's a 8th India-Myanmar Coordinated Patrol begins. Terrorism, human trafficking, poaching, illegal fishing, drug trafficking, etc. Next, SIMBEX, SIMBEX, Singapore India Maritime Bilateral Exercise. SIMBEX, 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 Singapore India Maritime Bilateral Exercise is an annual bilateral exercise between India and Singapore. It is an annual bilateral exercise between India and Singapore. Next, last year we have found a farthest, beyond Neptune, trans-Neptune belt located in the Kuiper belt, an object called Ultima Thule. This might be important films question. Ultima, 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 THULE, Thule. Recently, NASA's researchers find evidence of water, organics on the Kuiper belt object Ultima Thule. On the Ultima Thule, NASA's researchers have found water, organics on the Ultima Thule. So, today's first page news. India cuts off UN panel after J&K report. India cuts off United Nations panel after Jammu and Kashmir report. See, UNHRC, United Nations Human Rights Council, the headquarters are at Geneva, and UNHRC published a report on human rights situation in Jammu Kashmir, and India reacted angrily on it. India informed the United Nations that it will no longer entertain any communication with respect to HRC's reports on the issue of Jammu and Kashmir. In today's newspaper, in the editorial page, in the front page, you have mention about UNHRC, United Nations Human Rights Council. First of all, you should know, in the year 2006, United Nations Human Rights Council stepped into the shoes of United Nations Human Rights Commission. UNHRC stepped into the shoes of United Nations Human Rights Commission. It's a 47-member body. Just remember this. Coming to page number 7. Thirsty Gujarat will supply treated wastewater for industrial use. Gujarat is facing severe shortage of water. After treating the wastewater, the water will be supplied to industrial use. You all know that water recycling, treating the wastewater, and desalination, converting seawater into fresh water. These are the important things that are needed, because water is a very scarce natural resource day by day because of the increased population and the needs of the humanity with respect to water. Gujarat will supply treated wastewater to the industrial use. It's a very good thing, just you have to remember. Coming to today's editorial, Indian Meteorological Department IMD have forecasted normal monsoon this year, and the advent of southwest monsoon represents India's prosperity. The advent of southwest monsoon represents India's prosperity. So in the first week of June we are expecting the onset of southwest monsoon. Next important thing, why the BJP is not invincible in Uttar Pradesh? Why the BJP is not invincible? So 80 seats in Uttar Pradesh, it can make or break any political party's fortune in the elections which are going to come day after tomorrow. And it is not so easy for BJP to gain good number of seats in the UP elections, in the UP Lok Sabha seats. It is not that easy this time. And the opponents formed Maha Gadbandhan, where you have Samajwadi Party, BSP, SP, BSP, all LD. So SP, BSP and RLD, Rashtriya Lok Dal, coming together. Coming to the next important issue, it is MN's O's. O's, WOES. O's means problems, challenges. O's means problems, challenges. You all know in the Middle East there is a country called Yemen. The capital of Yemen is Sana'a. The capital of Yemen is Sana'a. First of all, if such a news appears, immediately you have to locate Yemen and its bordering countries. Okay, you have to see the map of Yemen. From last 3-4 years, Yemen was in turmoil. There is a rebel group in Yemen called Houthi. There is a rebel group in Yemen called Houthi rebel group. Houthis are Shias, and Iran is also a Shia country. There was an allegation that Iran is supporting Houthi rebels in Yemen because Houthis are Shias, and Saudi Arabia is basically Sunni dominated country. Saudi Arabia is basically Sunni dominated country. Now the thing is, now the issue is, there was a fear that, there was an issue that Yemen's Houthi rebels have attacked Saudi's pipeline. So now Saudi also retaliated. This may again flare up into a other crisis in the Middle East. So immediately we have to solve the issue, and they are trying to forge some strong agreement. Already they have some ceasefire agreement, but still they are trying to have some strong agreement, but still nothing has much moved between Houthi rebels and the government and other coalition which wanted to have peace in the Middle East. Coming to next article, moral ambiguity on the Rohingya. Moral ambiguity on the Rohingya. This article speaks about UNHRC, United Nations Human Rights Council, recently in the month of March had a draft resolution proposed by European Union and Bangladesh, co-sponsored by European Union and Bangladesh. You might get a doubt, why Bangladesh sponsored a resolution on human rights in the UNHRC. Bangladesh have 10 lakhs Rohingya refugees. Bangladesh is giving shelter to 10 lakh Rohingya refugees. As you all know, India, Myanmar, Bangladesh, they have territorial connectivity. India has 1640 kilometers border with Myanmar. Here there are 2-3 issues which you should understand. On the resolution, India have not voted, but India abstained. There was a resolution against human rights violation with respect to Rohingyas in Myanmar, and India abstained from voting. India absented itself from voting. India have not presented. The reason is, in the resolution it was said that the Rohingyas human rights problems, the genocide against Rohingyas should be taken to ICC. ICC means International Criminal Court. ICC, International Criminal Court. ICC is not a judicial organ of UNO. Though UNO and ICC have working relationship, ICC is separate organ with its headquarters at Hague, Netherlands. United Nations organization have one more judicial organ called ICJ, International Court of Justice. Both ICJ and ICC have their headquarters in Hague. Both International Court of Justice and International Criminal Court have its headquarters in Hague. But ICC deals with crimes of grave concern, crimes against humanity, genocide. Genocide means mass killings, extermination of one group or one race. So ICC will deal with all these issues. ICC, International Criminal Court, have been established through a statute called Rome Statute. Very important question for prelims. International Criminal Court have been established through a statute called Rome Statute. And remember, India is not a signatory of Rome Statute. India have not signed Rome Statute, so India is not a part of ICC. As far as my knowledge goes, there are 124 member countries, 124 countries signed the Rome Statute. India have not signed Rome Statute, which formed ICC, International Criminal Court. In the same way, Myanmar is also a non-signatory of Rome Statute. So, as a non-signatory of Rome Statute, India does not want to take this issue to ICC. This might be the reason why India have abstained for voting against Myanmar government with respect to human rights violations against Rohingyas. Rohingyas are Muslim minorities majorly located in Rakhine State, Rakhine Province, R-A-K-H-I-N-E, Rakhine Province, Kachin Province, K-A-C-H-I-N, Kachin Province, and Shan, S-H-A-N, and Shan Province. So this is one issue. And next is, India is being criticized that India is showing moral passiveness, moral passivity. You all know that as a regional power, India should have played a more proactive role. But unfortunately, India is maintaining very good economic, diplomatic, military relations with Myanmar, but India is not exerting pressure on Myanmar with respect to Rohingya issue. One simple example, in the year 2017, Prime Minister Modi visited Myanmar, but he has not condemned the Myanmar's government's repression of Rohingyas. So that itself shows India is playing a real politics in the issue. But why India is doing that? First thing, India has land border with Myanmar, the only Asian country with which India has a land border. The only Asian country, ASEAN, Association of Southeast Asian Nations. Okay, first thing. Second thing, to develop Northeast, India should have this border very, very strong. And there is one important thing which you should remember is there is a Tatmadaw. Myanmar's military is really notorious for committing offences against Rohingyas. If India puts some pressure, so India-Myanmar relations with respect to security, with respect to border infiltrations and terrorism, with respect to Northeast development might get affected. And India is also supplying military technology to Myanmar. All this might get affected. And you all know the famous factor here, China factor. For India, Myanmar and neighboring countries are very, very important because it has to contain China, a big power. So in this, we can say India is playing a real politic. And finally, the victims are Rohingyas. In fact, India is considered as Annapurna, and in India we have a doctrine called Atithi Devo Bhava. And we have given warm welcome to Tibetans, Chakmas, Tamilians, Jewish refugees, but we were really skeptical about Rohingyas staying in India. And Government of India decided to deport Rohingya minorities from India. Even this was a bone of contention now. So this is entire article, moral ambiguity on the Rohingyas. The next important article, the case against war on Iran. The case against war on Iran. See, US President Donald Trump repeatedly tells that America's 2003 attack war on Iraq is the single worst decision taken by America. And you know, earlier America went for Vietnam War and other wars. The thing is, whether America wages a war against Iran, is it good for America? In any way, war is always bad. Just remember, war is always bad. Present day wars cannot be won, because if at all war starts as a nuclear war. And May 21st, 1991, the same day, May 21st, is infamous in India because our former Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi was killed by a terror attack in Sri Perumbudur. May 21st, 1991. Most of you would not have been taken birth by that time. Okay, May 21st, 1991. I do remember that as a news that former Prime Minister of India got killed. Rajiv Gandhi got killed. Most of you would have not been taken birth by that time, right? So,